People are absolutely losing it online over the latest rumors surrounding Barron Trump. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Ever since May 2025, when News Nation ran a story claiming that an insider spilled the tea about Barron finally having a girlfriend, the internet has been in full-blown speculation mode. Now, this is Donald Trump's youngest child we're talking about, the one who's mostly stayed out of the spotlight, even as the rest of his family seems to thrive on it. So, the moment anyone even hinted at a romantic development, social media went wild. And since then, the chatter has only grown louder, with self-proclaimed insiders and fans alike trying to piece together who the mystery girl might be. According to News Nation's report, one so-called impeccably placed source from Barron's inner circle at New York University dropped a few intriguing hints. They said Barron has a really nice girlfriend and hangs out with her a lot, but also added that he's not conspicuous in his courtship like dear old dad. That little jab didn't go unnoticed. The source went on to describe Barron as being much more like his mother, Melania, quiet, composed, and private, someone who doesn't seek attention. And at 6'7", he's literally hard to miss, yet reportedly doesn't want to be the stereotypical big man on campus. He's apparently polite, friendly, but keeps to himself. The same insider also claimed Barron is pretty apolitical and doesn't get involved in any of his father's political drama. Sounds like he's carving out his own identity and doing it his own way. Of course, that kind of normalcy doesn't exactly sit well with the internet rumor mill. The source didn't give away any details about who the girlfriend might be. No name, no major hints, nothing. But that didn't stop people from jumping to conclusions. Within hours of the article going live, the story blew up across Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. Some folks were genuinely curious, others were outright judgmental. You had people commenting things like, "Stay far away from this family," or "God help anyone willing to date a Trump." Others took a more hopeful tone, saying, maybe Barron will treat women better than his dad ever did, which, while clearly loaded, shows just how much people are projecting onto this kid. The comment sections quickly turned into a mess of jokes, snark, and debates about everything from Barron's upbringing to his potential dating style. But here's where things really started to cross the line. The conversation shifted from harmless curiosity to personal attacks. People began making comments about Barron himself, his looks, his demeanor, even his social skills. And honestly, it got ugly fast. Whatever people think about Donald Trump, picking on his teenage son, who's barely said 2 words publicly, is just not okay. Barron's been known for staying quiet and keeping to himself, even when the rest of his family is splashed across headlines. That quietness seems to bother some people, as if they can't stand the idea of a Trump who isn't constantly posting or performing. But in a world where everyone overshares, maybe it's refreshing that he doesn't. Given how explosive the response has been to a rumor, it's no surprise that Barron probably isn't in any rush to make things official or go public with his relationship. This is the same guy who skipped the 2024 Republican National Convention, remember? He's not exactly chasing camera flashes. He's also been absent from other major Trump family moments, like his dad's military parade, something that fueled even more speculation about his dynamic with the family. But all of that just reinforces the idea that Barron values his privacy, which, considering his last name, might be the smartest move he could make. And honestly, who could blame him for wanting to protect whoever this alleged girlfriend might be? The internet is already treating her like a public figure, even though she hasn't been identified. As of now, there's zero confirmation about who she is, no photos, no sightings, nothing concrete. That hasn't stopped social media from going full detective mode, tossing around wild guesses, and even dragging in random names. Some users are joking, or maybe not joking, that Donald himself probably bought his son a date, while others are speculating that she must need therapy for getting involved with the Trumps. It's absurd, and it just proves how toxic and invasive internet gossip can get. Now, let's not forget that as recently as late 2024, even Donald Trump himself claimed Barron hadn't had a girlfriend yet. On the PBD podcast that October, he said, "I don't think he's there yet. He doesn't mind being alone, but he gets along with people." Then, a couple of months later, another so-called insider told People magazine that Barron was a ladies' man for sure, calling him really popular with the ladies and handsome. And get this, they even added, yes, even liberal people like him, which sounds suspiciously like something Donald himself would say. So between the fatherly bragging and the anonymous sources, it's hard to tell what's real and what's just more Trump family spin. Still, there's something kind of fascinating about how this all plays out. The world seems determined to turn Barron into a character in the never-ending Trump drama, even though he's done everything possible to avoid the spotlight. And maybe that's exactly why people are so intrigued. He's tall, mysterious, and by all accounts, polite. A blank slate for the internet to project whatever narrative it wants onto. Whether the girlfriend rumor is true or not, the obsession says more about us than it does about him. We live in a culture that can't stand not knowing, and when someone famous refuses to overshare, it drives people crazy. At the end of the day, it's probably best for Barron to keep doing what he's been doing, laying low, studying, and living his life away from the chaos. If this relationship is real, maybe he and his girlfriend will keep it private, at least until the noise dies down. Because in a family where everything becomes a headline, holding on to a little mystery might be the only way to stay sane. Whether we ever see Barron and his rumored girlfriend out in public or not, one thing's for sure. The internet will keep talking. And judging by the reactions so far, people just can't seem to look away.